Your parties are the hottest ticket around.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You're gonna hear about my parties. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we wanna have a good time.
What if one of the most chilling clues in this entire Diddy case came from Diddy himself? For years, his parties were treated like celebrity folklore. Glamorous, exclusive, untouchable. But by 2024, those rumors had turned into raids, court filings, and a federal indictment. And once investigators started pulling evidence out of his homes, the story changed fast. Because this wasn't just about headlines anymore. It was about what agents said they actually found.
The Department of Homeland Security has raided the homes of Sean Diddy Combs. CBS News correspondent Carter Evans is following the story from Los Angeles. Carter? How has Combs responded to all of the, well, first of all, what's going on and how has Combs responded?
Well, right now, he's denying any wrongdoing in this case. And what has happened is we know that there has been a law enforcement presence at two of his homes, both.
That raid was the moment everything escalated. According to prosecutors, when federal agents searched properties linked to Combs in Los Angeles and Miami, they found supplies they say were connected to so-called freak offs, including drugs and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Authorities also said they found firearms and ammunition, including AR-15 style rifles with defaced serial numbers. Suddenly, the case had something bigger than allegations. It had physical evidence, and that evidence started shaping the federal narrative around him.
Right. Just, so you have, if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Gotta keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but rock with me. But just check it out. You need a lot of heat. A lot of heat. Yeah.
Heat. You mean that physically the place has to be hot?
You don't have no air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
No.
Why is that?
Heat affects the alcohol.
And that's exactly why old clips like this hit so differently now. What once sounded like a bizarre party anecdote suddenly looked darker once the indictment was unsealed. Prosecutors alleged these events were not random celebrity blowouts, but highly organized sexual performances, arranged, directed, and at times recorded. They also alleged staff members helped book hotel rooms, gather supplies, clean up afterward, and even arrange forth fluids for recovery after events that could last for days. That's the part that made this case look less like chaos and more like a system.
I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation.
The charges made it even more explosive. Prosecutors said Combs was facing racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. And the racketeering part is what gave the story its real weight because prosecutors weren't describing isolated incidents, they were describing an alleged enterprise. Their claim was that people around him, including staff and close associates, helped preserve his power, protect his reputation, and keep victims silent through intimidation, violence, and control. They even alleged that recordings of these encounters were used as leverage to stop people from speaking out.
This morning, watch how federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
By the time that arrest happened in New York, the pressure had been building for months. Civil lawsuits had already put Combs under a harsh spotlight, and the searches only intensified scrutiny. One of the first major public shocks came from Cassie Ventura's 2023 lawsuit, which was quickly followed by more accusations and deeper reporting. So when agents moved in, the arrest didn't feel like a random surprise. It felt like the point where lawsuits, witness accounts, search evidence, and prosecutor claims had finally converged into one federal case.
What he has to say regarding these allegations. But again, the news just breaking based off of the unsealed indictment. We now know those charges: racketeering, sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution.
So in the end, this wasn't just a story about wild party rumors. According to federal investigators and prosecutors, it became a case about evidence. The raid findings, the weapons, the drugs, the alleged recordings, and a pattern they say stretched back for years. That's what made Diddy's downfall feel so different. Not just scandal, but a federal case built piece by piece. What do you think? Was the raid the turning point, or had this collapse been coming for a long time? Let me know in the comments.